10 Cents to Elsewhere, Chapter 1. Harlem. The city breathed in steam and static. Evening traffic crawled, and the scent of roasted peanuts and concrete hung in the spring air. Clinton Mason adjusted the strap on his laptop bag and squinted through his glasses. The bus terminal buzzed in its usual half-chaos, commuters wrapped in headphones and hoodies, parents dragging kids, and teenagers pretending to be in a music video. But there she was again, same corner, just outside the glow of the overhead street lamp, half in light and half shadow, like she'd been placed there by a director with a very specific aesthetic in mind. Around her neck, the necklace, again, but this time, Clinton noticed a single coin at its center. It was older, worn smooth at the edges, and stamped with markings he didn't recognize. It almost appeared rusty, a deep, uneven bronze, but that seemed to be its actual material makeup, not from any U.S. mint. It just hung there, quiet, heavy, like it remembered something. He used to collect coins as a kid, nothing serious, just whatever he could find in couch cushions or on the sidewalk. This one, though, felt like a mystery, like it didn't quite belong anywhere. After work, he usually just wanted to get home, to the quiet predictability of his apartment, but his gaze kept returning to the woman by the lamppost. He found himself inventing narratives for worn fabric of her coat, journeys taken, and secrets kept. Clinton had seen her at least 6 times now over the last 3 weeks, always at the same time, always the same place, never on the platform, always just adjacent to everything. He hesitated at the curb. He wasn't the type to pay much attention to people anymore. Not like this. Not since Amanda had thrown him off course. After that, he hadn't allowed himself to get caught up in anyone. There'd been relationships here and there, but he kept them shallow. Protecting his heart had become a priority. Lately, though, the world felt slightly out of sync. Conversations half heard, faces that blurred together, dreams he couldn't quite recall but woke up from with a strange certainty that something had been waiting. But enough of that weird daydream crush nonsense, he told himself. You're a decent guy, good enough, you pay your taxes. Just say something normal. He crossed the street. She saw him coming and didn't move. Just watched, her head tilted like she'd been expecting him. He stopped a couple feet away and tried to smile. Hey, I've seen you here a few times, Clinton said. She raised an eyebrow. Yeah? Yeah, Clinton said, clearing his throat. Thought maybe you were a commuter, like me. She looked at him like she was deciding if this was a pickup line or an honest observation. Maybe I'm just scenery, she said. Clinton chuckled nervously. Well, you're the only scenery in the city with a coin like that. He gestured loosely toward the necklace. Her expression shifted slightly, not surprised and not amused. You collect? She asked. Used to, he admitted. That one in the center, I've never seen a coin like it. She didn't answer right away, just looked past him at the blinking arrival screen. Some things don't come from here, she said. Before he could ask her what she meant, she stepped away from the post and walked off toward the far end of the lot. Not toward the buses, just elsewhere. Clinton turned to follow, but caught a flash of silver where she'd been standing. A dime. He bent and picked it up, his fingers brushing against the metal. It was just a dime, nothing special, nothing worth paying attention to. But something about the way it had appeared out of nowhere made him hesitate. He wasn't a coin collector anymore, but his fingers still reached for it on instinct. Maybe it was the way it caught the light or the odd timing, like it was meant to be found at that exact moment. It was warm, not with the faint heat of sunlight, but like it had just left someone's palm. A slight tingle buzzed through his fingers, brief and not entirely physical. He blinked and looked after her, now halfway down the block, her coat swaying behind her. That night, after the slow, thoughtful walk from the station, Clinton climbed the 3 flights to his apartment. The building creaked in all the familiar places, and of course his neighbor's TV was too loud again. He let himself in, dropped his keys into the bowl by the door, and flipped on the light. In the quiet of his kitchen, he emptied his pockets onto the counter. Wallet, phone, keys, pen, and the dime. He turned it over in his palm. The year, 2004. The year his dad had moved out. He laughed under his breath. Okay, that's random, he thought. He remembered once, faint as dust, his dad saying, "Some change takes you places." At that time, he thought it was a joke about vending machines. But maybe it wasn't. He didn't toss the coin in with the rest of his change. Instead, he placed it in a tray next to his keys, just in case. He paused, then moved it again, not into his wallet, but into a drawer. Not hidden exactly, but not left exposed, like it might do something while he wasn't looking. A draft moved through the room, though the windows were shut. He frowned, turned slowly, but saw nothing. Just the quiet echo of a whisper he couldn't quite hear, like a voice spoken 2 rooms away. He stood still for a moment, then blinked, shook his head. This had been a long day, and it was time to call it a day. He turned off the hallway light, headed for the room, and was out as his head hit the pillow. When the dime shifted, Clinton stirred in his sleep. He felt it, not in his fingers, but somewhere deeper, like a memory brushing against the edges of a dream. That small, unnoticeable movement didn't wake him, but something had quietly shifted.